Support for the show, FYF Sports, is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all of your below-the-waist grooming needs. Get 20% off and free shipping with coupon code FYFCREW at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code FYFCREW. Your balls will thank you.
All I hear is yap, 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 yap. Ain't talking about nothing, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. This a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch your cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. This a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real. They all know, shop don't close. Working 24, trying to make the channel grow. Look at them, pointing fingers, hating on the low. You can't compete with our podcast show. Couldn't make it in the league, so we got on TV. Crying by LeBron like a little baby.
Hey, it's FYF Sports, man. It's Lamont. We are back. We are back with another podcast episode, and today marks, a very special day that I've been talking to you guys about, man. We're starting our epic mini-series, and you guys, we're popular with the mini-series, all right? We had our 90s Basketball is Trash mini-series. If you haven't checked that out, all you have to do is go check out the playlist. Just click on the 90s Basketball is Trash. You'll see all 5 episodes, man. It's a complete breakdown of the 90s. Really good information if you want to check that out. Now we're working on a new mini-series. All right. The new mini-series is titled Shock Jocks, as you guys saw in the thumbnail of the video and the title of the video, Shock Jocks. Now, before we get started with the video, I want to give you guys a comprehensive breakdown and just a really easy description of what a shock jock is. Now, a shock jock is someone in the sports media, whether it's somebody big time, major media, whether it's a small timer, YouTube. Either way, it's somebody with some type of voice in the sports world. I mean, you could be a YouTuber with 20,000 subscribers, 70,000 subscribers, whatever, and still be a shock jock. You can be a media member with millions of followers on social media and still be a shock jock. The definition of a shock jock is someone who no longer has the ability to speak sensibly on sports, and they simply can only resort to making shocking or alarming statements that are generally and on most occasions overwhelmingly untrue or false. So again, shock jocks are people that they have to say things. They have to say things to galvanize people's emotions. They have to say things that generally are not true. They have to say things that no one else is saying. So ridiculous, so asinine, that people just have to tune in to watch to see how stupid it is. I mean, there are 5 major figureheads in sports right now that lead the movement for being a shock jock. And here at FYF Sports, man, we're going to be calling them all out. So today's epic mini-series is really identifying the first shock jock. And again, there are 5. We're going to save the best for last because there are levels to being a shock jock. I mean, you have your average shock jocks, you have your premium shock jocks, and you just have your ultimate shock jocks who just run around. And again, they've lost their way, they've lost their voice, And no one necessarily cares what they have to say about sports unless they say something that's so weird, so absurd, so false that people have to tune in to see how stupid it is. All right. These are the people who constantly get ethered on a day-to-day basis. All right. Because, you know, they're so far gone. It just happens. I mean, shock jocks can actually be people who are knowledgeable about sports. Maybe at one point in time, we're dealing with people who might have played. We're dealing with people who work for professional teams, whatever. But you can evolve into being a shock jock. And the shock jock is just something that happens, you know, when you lack creativity, when you lack wherewithal to talk sensibly about sports. All right. When you're an attention grabber, when you're an attention hoarder, you know, some of these channels, some of these media outlets, they're just attention hoarders. They just want all the attentions, regardless of right or wrong. They don't care about the aftermath of some of their bad basketball, sports, whatever it takes. The aftermath is irrelevant. All right. It's always about making the most shocking take. All right. And generally these takes are easily debunkable, stupid, outlandish, just downright, just crazy. All right. You know, shock jocks generally try to keep a group of people around them that can coddle to those odd narratives or opinions. You know, whether it's with big media outlets. You know, when we look at, you know, some of the major media outlets. Let's talk about Fox News. You have a lot of shock jocks over there because when you're talking on Fox News, you know, there's no live panel. People aren't directly coming at you. The people that come at you generally are on social media, Twitter, and you can filter all those people out or just downright ignore them. But when you're given a platform and you could just say whatever you want to say, all right, with no pushback, and when you put yourself in that type of situation, you willingly put yourself in a situation where you know you're not going to get any pushback. That's what makes you a shock jock. That's one of the reasons why when we have our live stream, I like to bring everybody on. All right. If I say something that's incorrect, if I say something that's off par, I like to have people around who can correct me. And I'll give you guys one example of it. If you guys watched my last live stream, all right, when I did my NBA top 50 list, and as I got to the top 10, as I rounded my top 10 out, I was just kind of giving my reasons why I had certain people placed in my top 10. You know, obviously we're talking about the Wilts, the Bill Russells. You know, I had Kobe outside of my top 10, and that shocked a lot of people. All right, but I gave my reasons for it. And actually, a lot of people agreed on those reasons. You had a few people who disagreed. All right. But then when it came to Michael Jordan, and what happened was, because I like to keep people around who can immediately say that, you know, that's not in a line, you know, what you're saying about Jordan being number one. Because at the time I had Jordan number one. It wasn't consistent with some of the things that I have been saying about Bill Russell and some of the things that could never be duplicated. The same thing with Wilt Chamberlain. But with Michael Jordan, his game has been duplicated and replicated by Kobe Bryant. And I, in a sense, and I can admit this, I in a sense kind of ethered myself. And LVZ, you guys know LVZ, you know, he's one of the few Hall of Famers here at FYF Sports. He was on his P's and Q's. I gotta give LVZ his props because not a lot of people caught this. This is why LVZ is in the Hall of Fame, because there's only a handful of people, you know, can catch that. And he caught my arguments not in alignment. So he was right there in a sense. All right. Shock jocks don't want people around them who can say that argument that you made was infallible. That wasn't consistent with what you were saying. All right, you got to reanalyze that take. I have to go back. I literally have to go back and reanalyze my entire top 10 because LVZ called out the inconsistencies in some of the arguments that I was using, some of the logic that I was using to place guys in certain places. And the crazy thing is, I slightly, you know, we got the max ether, you know, we got the standard ether, we got a baby ether. You know, LVZ gave me a baby ether. I give him that. It wasn't, like I said, it was just a small baby ether. I think I've ethered LVZ maybe 10 to 20 times before. So he can get one on me. But again, the fact that he's able to come on and I can accept that, again, that's what takes the shock jock out of FYF Sports. Now, when we talk about these other platforms, we're going to get to our first shock jock here in a second. I just wanted to make sure you guys had a clear understanding of what shock jocks are. All right. And I also want you guys to try to guess who are the 5 top shock jocks in this community. And again, in this realm, we're not just talking about YouTubers. This could potentially be people in the media or whatever. And based on the thumbnail of this video, we already know who one of the shock jocks is. All right. The first shock jock that we're going to be talking about today, and again, I'll give you guys this one because it's already in the title of the video, is Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, man, is the first shock jock that we have to speak about. Now, Stephen A. Smith is an American sports television personality. That's who he is. Everybody knows him. Sports radio host, sports journalist. He's a commentator for ESPN's First Take, where he appears with Max Kellerman and Molly Qerim. He makes frequent appearances, as an NBA analyst, on Sports Center, sometimes on other channels, other platforms, even smaller channels on YouTube. From New York, he went to college. He has a crazy background. When you look at his pedigree, when you look at his basketball pedigree, from being a former athlete, to being invested, from, to working for newspapers, to having really good relationships with athletes, you wouldn't expect for somebody like Stephen A. Smith to have evolved into being a shock jock. But I would say over the last 2 to 3 years, as this media realm, this sports media realm, where more and more people have platforms to talk sports. Not everybody has to tune in to ESPN First Take to get basketball news. They can tune in to great shows on YouTube. They can tune in, they can tune into podcasts on Spotify and things of that nature. There's so many places where you can get relevant information. And so because of all the competition in the sports world, we saw it started to affect ESPN to a major degree. It started to affect ESPN so much so that they started laying off some of their more popular names because they couldn't afford to keep them. It just was, ESPN had to just kind of flip the script. And so once ESPN made that flip, I think they influenced a lot of their talking heads to turn into shock jocks, because there was a point in time where Stephen A. Smith was a reliable voice in the sports world. Extremely reliable. But over the last 2 to 3 years, and I put together a compilation of every bad Stephen A. Smith take. And I'm going to show you guys just this rundown of just bad basketball takes, shocking statements. And again, I think this is something that ESPN has influenced a lot of their talking heads to do. Be shock jocks for the views, for the ratings. Because there are so many other platforms that are pulling the ratings. And I know so many people now that don't even bother to have cable anymore. They just want the internet connection so they can have access to places like YouTube, Spotify, and Stitcher, and Twitch, so they can listen to other media platforms that are actually more sensible. But now we have, because shock jocks. Shock jocks get into panic mode for a number of reasons. It could be ego, it could be for money, it could be for views. There are so many things that drive shock jocks and lead them down this path of despair. And this is the path that Stephen A. has decided to take. Now, he's definitely much respected. He does a lot in the community outside of TV. I can't not take that away from him. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the things that he says while he's on TV with regards to sports. And I think, and we try to do this here. I think you have some responsibility to be honest to a certain degree about whatever you say. I've taken a lot of flack and pushback from my takes on simply just by being honest about LaMelo Ball, because I'm one of the few platforms that will actually not just tell you the good about LaMelo Ball, but also tell you the negative that comes with him, because no player's perfect. Things that he can improve. I get a lot of flack and pushback before that. When I talk about Michael Jordan, I'm one of the few that will actually say he actually had weaknesses too. And I can talk about his weaknesses, but I can also talk about his strengths, because I feel when you can talk about both sides of a player, you're giving them a fair assessment. But when the scales are so unbalanced and you're only talking about the good, and anything bad that happens is either someone else's fault or non-existent, I think you start turning into a shock jock. And shock jock, again, sometimes players can drive shock jacks. I mean, when it comes to LaMelo Ball, you see a lot of people who just follow LaMelo Ball. They don't care about the team. They don't care about the process. That's heading down the path of being a shock jock for a certain player. So that motivation is for your love for a certain player. So shock jocks, the motivation and drive to be a shock jock can come from a number of places, but we see a lot of people in our community, in this sports world, turning down that lane. And today, here at FYF Sports, man, we are coming out with this epic mini-series of compilation videos to expose all of the shock jocks in the community. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this compilation video. I think I did a good job of putting together some of the craziest takes that Stephen A. Smith has said, but these takes are for educational purposes only. All right, because I try to do my best to show you guys, look, I'm not just saying these things. I put together a compilation of so many clips. You know, it's a 10-minute, over 10 minutes long of just bad take after bad take after bad take by Stephen A. Smith. And that should not happen. That should never happen. As if you're a sports media talking head, you should not have so many bad takes. Because whenever you analyze anything, I don't care if it's baseball, soccer, basketball, whatever sport you're dealing with, if you weigh your argument equally with the positive and the negative, in most cases, you should be able to make a non-biased opinion that generally, in most cases, should pan out in your favor. And if it doesn't pan out in your favor, then there's usually something that grossly happened that just threw everything off. I'll give you an example. When we talked about last year, my prediction for the 76ers to get to the final. Well, when Ben Simmons broke his kneecap, that grossly unbalanced everything. And so that pick, I got bashed for even making that pick, but at the end of the day, I still felt comfortable in my pick because I saw what happened. Something vastly threw off the scales. It took a major injury to a star player on that team to make my pick not come true. You guys, this is why I say do research purposes only, because people like Stephen A. Smith and all of the other shock jocks that lead the way in the shock jock movement, they've stopped doing research. All right, and when you stop doing research, remember, make sure if you haven't bought your merch yet, just so you can always remind yourself, because this works on and off the court. Research purposes only. Do your research, whether it's on a team, whether it's on a player, whoever. All right. So when we have these debates, whenever we talk sports, your arguments can be equally weighed to the negative and to the good. And you don't look like a super fan or a super jock of any particular player. You don't look like you have any hidden agendas. All right. You should be able to equally weigh your arguments. So we're going to get to this again. This is an epic mini-series. It's a compilation of videos for everybody that we bring up. But we're going to be talking. We're got a compilation of videos coming up for the first shock jock that we've selected. And this is an epic selection. All right. Stephen A. Smith has been named shock jock number 1 on FYF Sports' first epic mini-series on this particular topic. And I hope you guys enjoy the compilation video. It's FYF Sports, man. And we out.
I'm going to try to keep my composure.
A few moments later.
His very first move as the executive was to sign Lamar Odom, who was on crack.
Phil or Lamar? Phil or Lamar?
I don't mean to be. Listen, I love Lamar Odom, the person, and God bless him. We're wishing nothing but the best. But metaphorically speaking, he saw his first move as the executive of the New York Knicks was to sign Lamar Odom, who was on crack. Well, first of all, it's special to hear you actually say you like somebody. I think that's news in and of itself. Congratulations on that. I'm just saying, when it comes to basketball, you don't seem to like anybody as much as you like you. But let me get to this.
Let me tell you something. I don't even like you, but I like the fact that you talk crazy sometimes. That's why I'm over here.
You actually do.
But I don't like you.
You actually do. I ain't listening to you. Here's the deal. Let me ask you this question. In all seriousness, let's get serious here.
I'm very serious all the time.
Big baller brand.
Talk to me.
Alan Foster.
Yes.
$1.5 million
yes.
missing. Lonzo Ball, as a result, takes himself, his brothers, they go away from the big baller brand, they go to Nike. Your thoughts, how do you explain everything that has transpired and how it has made you look in a lot of people's eyes in light of what happened?
It's the media. The media says that my boys have went to Nike and stopped doing this. That's where you get these perceptions right here. When they talking all this crazy stuff, they sitting at the table and I'm making them pancakes and strawberries and eggs. Y'all don't even know about that. Big Baller brand is a family brand. Mm-hmm. Family ain't going nowhere.
But your son was the one. But your son, I understand. He's going to always be your son.
This is what the thing is. When I break it down to him and make him understand things, it's just like I told him. He said something on TV. He said, Allen is a...
Not disagree that LeBron was the best player on the court. And I get you, he can stuff that stat sheet like nobody's business. By the way, if I may include this before I start my argument, he also stuffed the turnover category of the stat sheet because he tied the all-time finals record for most turnovers in a final.
Get to your point.
Okay.
What are you going to say, Skip? What are you going to say?
LeBron James was great, but Kyrie was more valuable in this series. Kyrie averaged 31 a game over the last 4 games.
No. You know, Skip Bayless, I'm an idiot. Because I'm an idiot. Because somehow, some way, I worked with you every day for the last 3 years, and there are times where I'm still amazed. I'm still amazed by the stuff that comes out of your mouth. I don't understand why I did not see this coming. I do not understand why I did not see this coming. I should have looked at your tweets. Maybe I would have known better, but I don't read your tweets, so I didn't know any better. I didn't know. Listen, zip it. I'm talking. I let you talk. You're unbelievable. Let me tell you something, Skip Bayless. Kyrie was sensational. I get that. It's not that you're wrong with the points you're making. It's just that your conclusion is wrong because you believe that equals league NBA Finals MVP over a superstar with all the expectations of the world heaped on his shoulders, who led the team, who led both teams in the finals in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and block shots. You are unbelievable. Back-to-back 41-point games. In fact, I told y'all, did I just tell you I have to let you talk? Did I just tell you that? Zip it. I'm talking, okay? Back-to-back 41-point games in games 5 and 6. A triple-double in game 7. By the way, not only that, momentum swinging things. Kyrie Irving didn't show up for the first 2 games of the finals.
Neither did
LeBron. Now, game 3 and on, he was spectacular. First 2 games, he shot 33% from the field. He missed 36 shots. He was a virtual no-show. But he came on strong in those last 5 games, got hurt a little bit with his foot, really left it up to LeBron to carry the bucket in the second half of game 6. We get all of that. But under no circumstances, and the big shot that he made, he definitely deserves credit for. It was an elevated version of Paxson or Kerr because they didn't get fed the ball by LeBron. He stepped back on Steph Curry himself and did what he did. But this notion, he deserves some credit in terms of defending Steph Curry. Skip Bayless, I would say to you, did you forget about this dude by the name of Tristan Thompson, who was chasing Steph Curry around wing to wing all series long? You forget about Tristan Thompson?
Yes.
You think that Kyrie Irving at 6'2", okay, did that to Steph Curry all by himself? So what about the switching that took place? What about the fact that hold it. What about the fact that Amon Shumpert was on Steph? That Kyrie was on Steph, that Tristan Thompson, he wasn't just switching on Steph, he literally was chasing Steph Curry one wing to the other wing. Okay, I don't even want to pay attention to this story. Do I got to call for my ticker? Wait, help me out here, Max, I need your help here. Great actor.
Yep.
Philanthropist,
Got it.
charitable,
Father,
great father, great husband, great, one of the greatest basketball players. Will, am I missing anything? Will,
He's rich.
great actor. I mean, he's rich.
Really
great
rich.
business. Am I missing anything?
He has a clean diet.
Jamie Foxx, Cleveland, A. Smith, where you at? Am I missing anything?
Well,
because I can't believe.
Yeah, he brought up his boys too.
His boys.
He stayed loyal.
He stayed loyal to his boys. Loyal.
His hairline came back.
The hairline came back. I don't know about that one. But here's the point. I don't know about that one. The Rich Paul, Maverick Carter. I mean, he's phenomenal. Okay, let's throw Adam Medelson in there because we can't forget him. Okay, let's throw all of these guys in there. All right, did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? Because why are we hearing about this now? Why? You're LeBron James. You are averaging 27, 8, and 8. You're still one of the greatest players in the world. How many times have we talked about he got injured on Christmas Day? When they got injured, they were the 4th seed. He goes down for 18 games. They weren't the same. He came back. He wasn't 100% healthy. Did we not spend ample time chronicling his injury and talking about how significant of a blow it was to the Lakers? But no, that's not enough, Max. That's not enough. Well, no, it's not enough. Why is it not enough? Because now, as the season is about to come to an end, and he's going to be home watching the playoffs with us for the first time in 14 years, now we hear news from the doctor. The doctor comes out of nowhere. Oh, just innocently enough, after all of these weeks, some doctor is going to go out there on social media. He shouldn't have been playing. He was hurt all along. He should never have been out there. He should have sat out the last 6 months.
Why did the doctor delete it?
Shouldn't have been playing.
You think he was behind the
damn right. You're damn right I do. I don't know, but do I think that? You're damn right. Why is this on social media now? Why now, man? I ain't gonna get on that. I'm not gonna be like everybody else and talk about what you did or didn't do when you went college. Forget all of that. What I'm asking you is a simple question. We talk about the GOAT here, the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan, and you running your mouth talking about you gonna beat him one-on-one. Why would you say something so blasphemous?
In my heyday, he would need help.
Really?
He's too small. His name is big, and y'all like, it was a 5-on-5 game, he good. One-on-one, I'm undefeated, never lost.
Will you stop it?
Never lost one-on-one.
That don't make any sense. Listen,
ain't nobody beat me in heyday one-on-one.
Why you saying stuff like that?
Distance one-on-one.
That's that man. You look like you were tired.
Hey, let me ask you this like I tell him.
That's why you smiling right now.
Did I win or lose? Did I win or lose?
Right.
All I care about is the W. I don't
you
care
were
how I
tired
get it.
from dancing, and you talking about you gonna beat Michael Jordan?
Michael
how you gonna
Jordan.
do that?
How you gonna beat me?
You know what?
I gotta hear how you gonna beat me.
Pick your poison.
How's he gonna beat me?
Why are you saying stuff like
Tell
this?
me how's he gonna beat me.
Why are you doing this? Why are you? Is this another marketing tool of yours?
Check this out.
What?
Everybody used to say who was the best, Michael Jordan or LeBron.
Who did you think was the best?
Who
did you think was the best?
Kobe or LeBron?
Who did you think was the best?
Guess what the story is now? Who's better, LeVar or Michael Jordan?
Nobody think about no damn LeVar.
Yes, they are. Look at you. Who we talking about?
Think about no LeVar. LeVar? Are you good? Lonzo, yes. Not LeVar.
Lonzo don't want to see me. I'm too big, too strong. One-on-one?
You know what? I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna the blasphemy coming out of your mouth. I'm
You're not ready for this.
You were on record talking about put your son on the Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
And put Steph Curry on UCLA.
Yes.
And your son would explain how your son would be better.
Right now. UCLA wouldn't be where they at. Steph Curry gonna shoot him out the game. He ain't rebounding and passing that ball.
Shoot him out the game?
Shoot him out the game.
Out the game.
Not in the game. Soon as they double him up, he gonna lose that ball. He too little. Now you put Lonzo on there with all them athletes and running and gunning. Guess what?
Your son is that much bigger than Steph Curry?
He's bigger than Steph Curry. Steph Curry, what, 6'2"?
Steph Curry about 6'3".
Okay,
long arms.
I'll let him be 6'4". He's still shorter than my boy. Long arms. Can he jump? Can he run? Not like my boy. Let me tell you something. If you take Steph Curry,
something is wrong with you,
yes,
sir.
I'll tell you what's wrong with you. I keep talking to you, Max. Next.
You go ahead. You go ahead and talk to Max.
I just gave you facts. That's number one. Number two, I've spoken to several of his teammates who played for him. Have you? Have you talked to them? Have you listened to what they said about his lack of leadership? Number three, visit the teammates in Denver. Visit them in Chicago. Listen to what they have to say. They used to argue with me on behalf of Jay Cutler and called me to apologize or ran in front of me. You got that?
Listen,
I do. I'm telling you right now. No, zip it. I'm giving you facts. You don't get to speak right now. I gave you your because you accused of hyperbole. Why? Because you got a stat sheet. Because you got a stat sheet and you read some stats. You ain't engaging in hyperbole.
Hey, listen.
Is Jay Cutler not? Hold on. Is Jay Cutler not and juxtaposed to Colin Kaepernick? Is Jay Cutler right now not the epitome of white privilege in the United States of America? What did he do to deserve this job? What did he do?
Listen now.
Is he better? Is he better? What did he do?
Could it be possible that these locker rooms, they're just in the realm of possible?
Time out. This is fun, but I have a
Any
real
day
question.
of the week.
Stephen A., do you feel
Any
like
day.
Last segment.
Guys, can you all settle down, focus for a second? Do you guys feel like Draymond Green's going to be an X factor, though, keeping his emotions in check, playing well on both ends?
First of all, I'm always focused. Secondly, of course, Draymond
on
Green
what
is going to
Molly's
be a
saying.
factor. Okay, what Molly is saying or what Molly is asking. Because Molly is asking about Draymond Green, who had 20, 12, and 9. Molly is asking about a guy who can put up a triple-double. Molly is asking about a guy that repeatedly produces time and time again when all his weapons are there.
I was with you, and we felt like he's cost them games before. That's why.
It wasn't you. What are you doing out on the basketball court in the middle of the game?
It wasn't me.
You had no business in that melee.
So let me get this straight. That pit bull that is Eric Bledsoe, along with 7'1" Joel Embiid, is about to get into a fight, and I am going to get in the middle of that. Have y'all lost y'all damn mind?
Okay.
I couldn't believe it.
I'm not doing that.
Let me tell you something.
One more time.
You
on
know,
out, Cleveland A.
It's not only the hairline that bought everybody in. Stephen A., we all believe you would do that. I don't know what you're talking about. We all believe you would run onto the court.
Let's start right there.
Stop, guys. It's my league.
Really? Y'all really think that I would jump on the court in the middle of two dudes fighting like that? You crazy? I will say this on a more serious note, like the Palace at Auburn Hill years ago. I would have tried to stop somebody.
First of all, that is utter nonsense. Especially
Yes, of course you say that.
Let me finish.
But tell me about the greatness.
Let me finish.
You got to give time to grow. Did Tom Brady win his rookie year?
Hold on.
Did Peyton Manning win his rookie year? Come on, well, talk to me about this.
Let me tell you something right now.
Talk to me about great.
You were talking about what they were going to do before January 15th. They didn't do it, and I couldn't find you for 2 months. Why couldn't I find you for 2 months? You were gone, and Richard Sherman is sitting right next to you. You act like the Dallas Cowboys don't have to play him, and don't have to play Seattle, and Atlanta, and Green Bay, and the New York Giants. What about all of that, Michael Irvin?
And what are you telling them? They're not great because they didn't win the championship last year either.
They got a ring already. They got a ring already.
Say I don't agree with the part about me being horny all hours of the day. It's a few hours in the day, yes, but not all hours of the day. I digress.
This one's the perfect gift for the friend who's been getting a little too comfortable during quarantine, Manscaped, and their new performance package. You'll be doing yourself a favor.
Really made.